Um, Boom. There we go. Hi, everybody. It is another beautiful Saturday night. I'm with here with two people. I'll introduce to you in a bit. Firstly, again, we're gonna do this thing every Saturday night, which I really love to do. But without further ado, let me introduce to you Miss Tati and Miss Lee Alvarez. Miss Tati, please
De
take the floor.
Guzman.
Yeah, Miss Lee Alvarez de Guzman. Yes, sorry, Miss Tati, please.
Okay, I would like to introduce Lee Alvarez de Guzman. I have known her whole life because she is my sister. And we wanted to invite her here because I'm really curious about how she's been through for this past few days. And I'm hitting two birds with one stone because I want everybody else to experience how she is as a person. And to give you an idea of how fascinated I am with her. She is a competitive person. Competitive meaning even when we were young, we would have so much fun playing because she would take games to the next level. She would attend the running game in the subdivision and then she would go home. She was a scrawny kid, as in she was super thin, and then she would go home. She would show us the award because she won the award. There was a time she fell off the bed. You know why? Because we had the game. That time there was a Wonder Woman show when we were younger. And we decided just to play this game of the person who would turn around the longest. And she won that game. She was the last one to still be spinning and spinning around. And then during nighttime, she fell because maybe her balance was still way off. And then there was a time when we were playing. I think this is okay to share because we all survived. We were playing a game that's called, what game was that? That was Monkey Monkey Annabelle.
Monkey
And
Monkey,
then,
is it?
Monkey, I
Hmm.
forgot. The game there was if the person who was it would touch you, you're not supposed to move. If you're going to move, you would lose. And
Mm-hmm.
during that time, she did not want to lose. She did not want to be it. She did not like to move. And there was a tricycle coming. And she went under the tricycle because she did not like to move. And I'm sharing this story because she's alive and she's okay. But that
Wow.
is how.
Wow.
And she was still, I don't know if she was 5 years. I don't know if my memory serves me right, but she was that young and she was already that competitive. And she was also the life of any party because she would make the room lighten up. And I was really curious about
Mm-hmm.
how she is as a person because one of the things
Mm-hmm.
that is real about me is I look up to her because she brought that tenacity, she brought that liveliness in her workplace, she brought that also in the challenges that she faced along the way.
Mm-hmm.
So without spilling everything out, I would like to introduce to you one of my 8 siblings because we're 9 in the family. So I'm
Wow, that's a
introducing
lot.
Lee Alvarez de Guzman. Take it away, Drell.
Thank you, Miss
Hi,
Daddy.
good evening, everyone. Good evening, Sir Matt. Good evening, Ati Tati. And Kuya
Evening.
Gerald, I
Evening.
think, is just around the corner in the house of Ati Tati. So, first of all, I would like to say thank you to the Prime community for inviting me tonight. I would like to honor
Mm-hmm.
Matt. I have heard you several times. You have hosted really good shows, right? Really good shows.
Thank
You're
you.
um, very good in
Mm.
making sure that the show is very engaging. You are
Mm-hmm.
very focused, and you always ask questions that make people think, and that's
Mm.
really good. And my sister, Ati Tati, and my brother-in-law, Kuya Gerald, are part of this community, and I believe that this community is really helping them grow and helping
Mm-hmm.
them really enjoy life. So when Kuya Gerald reached out to me and said, "Can you be our guest?" I didn't really know what I could contribute to this community, and what I can promise is I am here tonight and I will give my very best. And before I share my story,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to honor my sister. Not everyone knows that during college, actually, we as a family had a financial difficulty, and I will not really dwell into the story, but really the money was really hard when we were kids, college kids right now. So
All right.
kids up to college, up to when I was starting working, I would not be able to go to school every single day if not for my sister, because my sister gave me my allowance.
Mm.
So actually, she forgot about that we opened a bank account. So before she went to Bacolod, so when I tell this story, it really makes me tear up because I'm very
Mm.
grateful to my sister.
Thank you for sharing.
Before she went to Bacolod, she was assigned there as a medical representative, and she made sure that we opened a bank account for both of us so that we can both access the money. So every month she would put money there, and there would be times when I would call and I would ask her for money because I would need the money at school. So
Mm.
that's how grateful I am to my sister, and that's how generous and loving my sister is. So I'd like to say thank you to my sister. Feel the love and
Wow.
the gratefulness that I have towards her. So we are eight. She has eight siblings, and she really tries her very best to lift us up, each one of us. She would always state or tell us all the strengths that we have, especially if we forget about the strengths. Sometimes
Mm. Mhm.
times, Matt, right, that we second guess ourselves, that we would say, what talents step up and really take time and say, Drell, you're good at
Mhm.
this, you're good at that. And sometimes I even do not know that I'm good at those things. And she reminds and she tells us what we are good at. So that's how my sister is. Um, Today, my topic is about overcoming challenges
Mhm.
in a fast-paced world. I want to say thank you to my Kuya Gerald because he was the one who placed that subtitle. And it's really
Mm.
good that he placed there the fast-paced world because everything is really fast. So many options around, so many things happening. When you check the television or you watch Netflix, you can't even watch anything because it's so many options out there. Because when we were kids,
Mm.
because Matt, you're still very young. When we were
Yes.
kids, when you turn on the TV, you only have a few options, right? You only have channel 9, channel 2, channel 7. There would only be a few options for you to choose from. That's why if you would talk to to our generation, we would understand the the shows that we have watched when we were kids, like MacGyver. Ate Tatiana's favorite was Doogie Howser. So Shider. So those things. So now, in this fast-paced world, let me ask you: have you figured it out for yourself? Do you already know what you want in life, what you want to be, or what are the things that you aspire? Are you the type of person that I know what I want, or are you the type of person who, up to now, you would say, I don't know where I'm heading? So why did I ask that? And I would let me share a story. Something that happened to me in 2018. So before this Zoom, this StreamYard, where there are guest speaking engagements, we would go to a place physically, right? So there was this one time I was invited to Makati to talk to fellow managers in the industry where I'm in, and of course, if it's in Makati and I'm from Pampanga, I would have to leave very early, so around 5 a.m. Reach the place really early. My talk was 10 a.m. And I had a talk with my fellow managers. And after that talk, I went back to Pampanga. That night, this is November 22, 2018. I couldn't sleep. I am really a late sleeper like my sister. We are awake at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 2 a.m. That's how we are. So how about you, Matt? What time do you usually sleep?
Mm.
Do you
Great question.
sleep
Thank you for
early at
asking.
night, or are you a late sleeper like us?
Right now, right now, it's so sharp in my in my mind, the information when you asked me that it popped up. I sleep out 1 or 2, but honestly, 2 a.m. It's been hard. I don't know why. I'm tired, but I can't sleep. But
Oh, so we're all the
I'm really
same.
into your story.
Okay. Thank you, Matt. Thank you for answering that question. So that night, I really couldn't sleep. And I'm really a Shopee Lazada. Actually, I'm more of a Shopee. Before I love Lazada and then when now I'm so I was browsing all. It was already 5 a.m. I couldn't sleep. The thing is, I needed to sleep because I had a client the next day. So I stood up. I said, I think I didn't really sleep at all. So I went to the bathroom. I was preparing for my client meeting. I was brushing my teeth, looking at the mirror, and while I was brushing my teeth, the water was flowing down my mouth. And I couldn't control my mouth. And I said, what happened? Because I wasn't able to sleep that night, couldn't control my muscles. So I looked at the mirror again and I said, okay, sir, I need to put some makeup on. So I tried to close my eyes. When I was putting the eyeshadow, I couldn't close my right eye. So I got really confused what's happening. So I was like, I couldn't move the right side of my mouth. I couldn't close my eyes. What's happening? I needed to be in a meeting, a few minutes from now. So the question that I have is, have you experienced the same situation wherein you are confused and you don't know what to do and you are asking yourself what is happening? Have you experienced situations like that in your life? So, because we are in a world where we Google everything, I Googled it and I said I can move my arms, I can still talk. So it means I did not have a heart attack. So I checked other art that what I was experiencing is what we call Bell's palsy. So do you know, Matt, what Bell's palsy is?
No, Mr. Alvarez Guzman. I actually just heard of it just now as you said it, and the story where it began to become evident, it was that case that you have. Wow, wow. I mean, you have a client outside waiting. You're doing your normal hygienic things, and then bam, you get hit with this disability, and you can't, certain functions won't function, and wow. I just imagine if I was in that situation as you were on your story there, it was so difficult to get a grasp of sane or sanity. How could I come out there with some dignity left, looking like this, and how I feel inside is like it's challenging to be confident. Wow, how did you overcome this challenge? I know the title of your talk is "Overcoming Life Challenges." Wow, these events, have been really, evidently through the story, have been tough. How did you fare? What happened next, though? Please.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Thank you for that question. So the good thing is the client that I was supposed to meet that day is a doctor. So when I went to the hospital, before going there, I called her and I said, something happened to my face and I think it's Bell's palsy. And she said, go here and I'll go check you out. So when she checked me, she said, it is Bell's palsy. I will recommend you to a neuro psychiatrist. So she gave me the name. I went to the doctor and the doctor gave me medications that I had to take, therapy that I had to do, and I also went to another doctor, and he told me that I needed to go to therapy 3 times a week. And my question to him was, what if I do it 5 times a week? Because go to that hospital, the therapy center is open 5 times a week. And he told me that if you go have that therapy 5 times a week, it would be faster for you to recover. So I didn't really had so much drama. I'm not like that. I'm not the type of person who would, dwell too much on what's happening. What I really wanted to ask was, what should I do? What are the things that I can control? So every single day, the therapy center would open at 8. At 7, I was already there. And I did not change anything in my schedule. So we had management meetings. I am a manager in an insurance industry. So the next day I had to do JFW. So what is JFW? It's joint field work. So I had to assist a newbie and present to his clients. So nothing changed. And after that, the third day, I also presented to a client there. So when we were in a meeting, people were actually asking me, why am I still working that time? Because when the doctor told me that usually people who get Bell's palsy get depressed and hide because they do not want to show people their face, I didn't want to do that. So I wanted to show the world that I am still operating as me. And for some reason, because of what happened to me, I got more motivated to do something about it. So during the meeting, there was this manager who said that it's okay. It would be fast. You will have this back in 6 or 11 months. I got so, my emotions really raised, and I said, I cannot allow that. I cannot allow that. And he said, it's just 6 months to 11 months. For me, 6 to 11 months is such a long time to get my face back. So when I had my therapy, I didn't know that nothing was moving. So the person who helped me, actually, I would like to honor Fer Nang. He is the husband of my first cousin, Dr. Antea Nang. He is the best. He is the best. He really helped me. So that time, working for the hospital that I was going to, and he gave me a mirror to move. I because I thought they were moving. And so Matt, if you would try to recall when I said I couldn't sleep, the reason why I couldn't sleep at night is because I couldn't close my eye. I was trying my best to close my eyes, but of course the
Mm.
other eye wasn't closing. So that's when I realized, oh, I couldn't close. I couldn't sleep because of
Mm.
what happened to me. So I only had one day of drama. I actually saw my sister, Ate Tati. One time when we were talking, she was the one who's being emotional. She was the one who's when she was looking at me, she was just trying to hold her tears. And there were so many people who were like that towards me during the time that it was happening to me. But because what I felt is that the doctor said that I have to do my part and something that I can get my face back, I didn't really dwell in the sadness. It was just one day of sadness. Even my son, Miguel, I remembered he was crying, Mom, when will you get your face back? And I said, it's okay, anak. I will get it back. I just need to do what the doctor and my therapist have advised me. Because what Fer told me is that I have to exercise my face as if it's moving. And it's really tiring, Matt and Atik, because it's not moving. And you're trying to move it and move it and move it, and it's not moving. And it seems like it's so heavy. But what he said is that if you keep on exercising, the brain would send a message to your face that it will move again. So just to cut the long story short, I would ask you, Matt, because my sister knows the answer. How many days did I get my face back? What do you
Wow.
think? Days or months or years? How many months, years, or
Mm.
days do you think I came back to this?
I would like to butt in. I don't
They're
even
all moving.
remember
My
it
arms are moving.
happening.
That time at okay.
Wow. Well, firstly,
Yes, even my sister Dominic, she told me, Ate, I did see you. Mhm. So my sister Nick, I didn't even see you get sad. And I didn't even feel that you were going through something. Because really for me, there's no time for, I didn't have to, because even when I had that phase, I was still going to the school of my son. And there were, my co-parents, one of the co-parent there asked, what happened to you? Did you have your tooth extracted? Because it was so big. Um, if you couldn't move your face, it gets saggy and it gets bigger because you cannot control. But I said no, I had Bell's palsy. So there was also even one person in the team who called and said, Miss Lee, I'll go to your house. I want to bring you some food. I said, I'm working. What? But you're sick. I said, but I can move, I can talk, I can walk. So I'm not at home. I'm just operating the same way I was before. So going back to the question, how many days did I overcome that phase in my life wherein half of my face wasn't moving? What do
Wow.
you think, Matt?
Okay.
It's a hard
Before
question
I answer that, Miss Tati,
because you will
you'd
just
like to
really
say something.
guess.
What I would like to say was, because of the attitude of my sister, I was also just reminded now that she got Bell's palsy before.
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
I only get reminded when she reminds me, because that was just something that passed her by.
You sort of forgot because it's okay
Yeah.
now. Yeah. So, yeah, for me, the answer would be starting with this statement and sentiment that you have an attitude of gratitude for even in your darkest days, and that's appealing in such a way that I found myself in your situation, in your shoes. I was asking myself, and I'll answer and proceed to the answer that I found myself feeling like, wow, public. You went public. You got people asking you about your problem. You faced them and answered them what it was, and when asked why you do what you do every day, you said that I can still do these things because certain aspects of me can do them, and so you disregarded shame in a way. You disregarded like embarrassment. You disregarded voices of other people that could potentially make you you know conscious about yourself. And for me, with that kind of attitude, the brain itself that requires you know to help you fix this, I'd say I saw 6 months in my mind, but I'll reduce it to three because I think three is a good answer. So yeah, 3 months. How about that, Miss Lee Alvarez Guzman? How did I do with that answer? 3 months.
Thank you, sir. Matt. I appreciate that you're answering because it's really a tricky question and it's you don't really know what it is, right? So I would share how long it took to get back to this. But before that, while you were sharing that, Miss Lee, that you're telling me that you are amazed with the story. Actually, during the time that it happened, God has given me more gratitude because I had more compassion to other people who had disability, what they call this, correct or cure. Like I only had Betsy, but I could still talk, I could still walk, I could do so many things. But there are other during that time I had I had appreciated and I had appreciated my life more when I had Bell's palsy because I was looking at stories in YouTube. I saw so many people struggling with different difficulties physically, but they choose to stand up. They choose to be alive and do what they can. So I even had this prayer to God that time that God, if I will not go back to my old face, it's okay. I had that. I didn't even know that I would feel that way. I'm okay with it because I felt blessed. Was only Belsey. I felt like I said I'm okay, and I even I'm okay if it doesn't go back. But since God gave me that chance or that blessing that it can be corrected, then I would have to do my part. So the answer there is, in 21 days, I got my face back. And even the people that saw me with that face, I was going to the salon that my sister and I, actually it was my sister and Kuya Gerald, who influenced us to go to Studio M. They got so surprised. Oh my God, you're already okay. So even the parking boys, because that hospital is a school, so it's really hard to get a parking space. So I got to be friends with those people just in the street who would give you, and they knew that I would be coming, so they would really give me a spot. And they got so surprised. Oh, you're okay now. And I had this Medicard, HMO. I would get LOA, or what you call the LOA. It's like a request that you would use your card so you wouldn't have to shell out money. And she was also surprised. And even the therapy center, when they saw me, I was already okay. And that's when I realized that really, in life, I can summarize it in just 3 words. That you have to first, it's DSS. The first is you have to decide. And decisions really have to be now. It cannot be tomorrow. It cannot be a month after. There was this story that was shared to me by the doctor and said that there was this one girl. She was in her early 20s and she had Bell's palsy. But since she was just hired by the company, she couldn't have the therapy because I was there every morning. And again, I'm very blessed that the work that I have would have allowed was employed, and she couldn't have therapy for 6 months because she couldn't miss work. After 6 months, when she got regularized, she went back to the doctor and said she's now ready. But the doctor said, we can no longer do anything about it. So he called it atrophy, if I'm not mistaken. Atrophy is, it's already permanent. You can no longer reverse, what happened. The time already passed. 6 months for so many people, you might think, okay, 6 months is just fast. Actually, it's not. Every single day that you try to delay decisions in your life, you're also deciding that you are not living the life. Because you can always decide what decisions you want to have. So if you have question now, if it would take you like the whole day to think, to analyze, to check what are the things that you have to do to come up to that decision, do it. But do not delay. The second one is show up every single day. Saturday, Sunday, I was still exercising my face, so I have to show up every single day. Does it mean if, let's say, you showed up, let's say you have chosen to do something that you really have to be good at it? You don't have to. You just have to show up and enjoy. Even if during that time that I had that Bell's palsy, I was enjoying myself. I was enjoying the process. I was waking up in the morning, going to the therapy session. I had so many realizations in my life because of that, 21 days of that stage of my life. I have grown. And the third one is you have to decide to be consistent. So when the topic that I've chosen to overcoming challenges would always be everywhere. Every day we would have so many challenges. And for me, my belief is I can what I can do is I decide on the things I can control. And if
Mm-hmm.
I need tools, I would have to know. So I learned that I needed to take some meds. I had to have that therapy. I have to do my part. I exercise. I did everything. So I was able to get my goal. Now the question is, do you have to be really fast like me? It's not. It's up to you what your pace is. So whatever you want to do, it's up to you what pace you want to do. So
Mm-hmm.
it may be 21 days for others. It may be 30 days. it may it may be. So do to do if failure. Because if I'm going to fail, it's okay. But I have to do it and I have to try. So, Matt, I haven't really
Mm-hmm.
introduced myself. I was in the corporate industry for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I left the corporate industry, senior operations manager. I was in the BPO industry. And I joined a financial institution or an insurance company. And I left industry. And I was really earning very well, a six-digit earnings monthly, but my
Mm-hmm.
heart was something else. So when I left the corporate industry, I never looked back. I'm not saying that it's not a good industry because I stayed there for 10 years and I really met a lot of people there. I really learned a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
but I gave my very best there. And when I left, I was looking for someone explained the different types of work. He said job. First is job. Job is 8 to 5. It's just, paying the bills. And the danger there is if you look at what you're doing as a job, your motivation is really to get the pay. And the days that you're still waiting for 15 or 30 or 25, you're no longer motivated. The second one is career. Career is a career path. So you look at what's next. What's the next position? And that's where I was before. I wanted to go to the next level, be promoted. And the third one is calling. What is calling? That you believe that you are changing the world for the better. So whatever you are doing and done, and you have this passion, you have this calling in your heart, start it. If you're
Mm-hmm.
feeling excited deep down and you want to try something that you have been delaying before, do it. I'm not saying that you should leave your corporate job. I'm just saying that if you're not yet ready, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe you can do corporate and at the same time do the thing that your heart is telling you to do. Because for me, God is telling you something that you should try this out. Because 2020, I started YouTube. I started YouTube
Mm-hmm.
2020. The first material or the first vlog that I created was a celebration of my 8 years with the insurance company that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I didn't continue anymore. And I said, I don't want to do this. But in 2021, December, I purchased this coasters, glass coasters from a client of mine. And I told myself, why not promote her because they're really good, promote her and put it on my YouTube. So when the purpose was to help other people, to promote other businesses, it made me more excited about what I was doing. Second is in my YouTube, you would see there that I have lots of vlogs about my children because I'm not good, Matt, at saving photos, videos. So many phones have given up on me and I couldn't even go back. There was years in the lives of my kids that I do now is a tool for me to capture those memories. I have a 8-year-old and a 6-year-old kid. So I started really putting some materials on YouTube, and then I have this friend from UK. Her name is Yasmin Wu, who's also doing good in YouTube, and she introduced me to a person. So I would like to honor Miss Grace Poo, who has created this group, YouTubers who help each other move up. So we watch each other's videos. We give, we have that community. So why am I sharing this? I am new in YouTube, and when I left the corporate, I was new in this fast forward. I'm now here as a financial
Mm-hmm.
advisor for 10 years. YouTube starting. So in life, in a fast-paced world, because Kuya Gerald said in a fast-paced world, right? So many things are happening. You would see how success is for so many people, but you have to listen to your heart. What would make you wake up and get excited every single day that you want to do this, that you want to live? It's not all about the money. The money would be a result of the good job that you're doing. Maybe it would take years before you get the money that you want. It is very important that you enjoy the process. My sister told you earlier, Matt, that I'm the type of person, even when I was a kid, I was very competitive.
Mhm.
Before, I was always in a hurry about so many things. I want to be number one. I want to do this. I want to do that. I wasn't really fighting with anyone or competing with anyone, but I really wanted to be number one. For me, everything should be fast. But something changed during the pandemic, and I realized that I wasn't really enjoying the moments of my life. And now I'm already 40 years old. Just imagine the first time that I have enjoyed swimming was during the pandemic when I really was really looking at my phone. I was just enjoying my time with my kids. So my advice to people who are listening here is that be present in your life. Be present in your life. Because before I was always multitasking. I was doing so many things at the same time. I wouldn't even look at you when you talk to me because I would already think of the next thing
Mhm.
that I would have to do. Or if I'm working, I'm thinking of my kids. Or if I'm with my kids, I would think of the work. So now it's totally different. When I'm in front of you, Matt, I'm in front of you. So I'm enjoying
Awesome.
the conversation. I'm enjoying this time. I'm giving my very best. So I believe that life should be enjoyed. So it has to be a joyful journey. So whatever you are doing, even if it's small, there's so many options out there. Just to know what you're planning to do. And if you want to have that good time, spend time with them and be with them. So I hope I was able to share something that I was able to really share the topic, overcoming
Yeah.
challenges in a fast paced world. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah. Well, first off, you did give value there, starting with the gratitude attitude, facing challenges such as vivid, as you described earlier, with the face being paralyzed, parts being unable to function, and you're, you know, situated in a situation that demanded you to do certain acts to promote or provoke and promote good, and energies around where you are and what you're trying to accomplish out here in the world with your line of work at your job, your line of work that you focused on so deeply, as I see from the type of person you are. Resilience is in your blood, that's for sure. That's what I see. Resilience is in your blood. Now, I know for sure. I really like asking this question, Miss Lee Alvarez de Guzman. So, where do you think this all started for you? Like, where do you think this resilience comes from? There should be a story there that could tell us a bit more. What happened here that you understood resilience was a good thing to have as a human being? Well, initially, it doesn't have to be like a realization right away, like one day, like eureka moment. I woke up one day and I found out this was it. No, I think it was a build up to the function of being able to persevere. So what do you think happened there with you that made you persevere? Um, Tell us more about that. I'm really interested about that. Perseverance skill is a skill. So yeah.
Thank you, Matt, for the question. Actually, I'm the type of person who wouldn't really dwell on what happened or what I can do now. Because what have happened in the past, those are things that I shouldn't be dwelling on. I remember when I was in grade 2, I had the teacher and she said that, what are your problems? She asked the class what our problems were. And I couldn't think of any. And when she called me and said, I don't have any problema. And that's what I think is wrong with so many mindset of people thinking that I should always have problems. But if you look at things as challenges, that when it's in front of you and the question is, what can I do? What are the things I can control? You get more excited about what you need to do or contribute. So I'm I'm like that, Matt. I'm always, that's why when I ask the doctor, what should I do? What can I do? Is there something that can be done? And there was this one time during the pandemic, I read this book about being a writer. So I said, maybe I could be a writer. So let me buy a book on how to be a writer. And the writer or the author of that book said that if you wish to create stories that people would feel the emotions, you really have to feel that emotion. So what I did, because in 2020, April 2020, I had a miscarriage. Of course, I was very sad because I have a baby didn't materialize. So I didn't really dwell too much on that. But when I was reading the book and the author said that you have to dwell and you have to go deep to that emotion, and when you are writing, you have to cry. So what I did, I really thought of mothers who lost their kids, mothers who really cannot bear children. I really thought of that emotion, and because of that, I was able to write something about it. But I felt so down. And I felt if I would try to recall, because I was trying to recall and digging into things that I'm not supposed to, before I wasn't really dwelling. I tried to recall so many things in my life that were negative. And I don't know if I got depressed, but I really didn't have that gusto for life. I didn't want to get up in the bed. I even forgot to compute. So I was in the very low point in my life. I was able to get out of that. I even told my husband that, I have to get out. I read the book. And this book, the title of the book is um, The Power of Positive Thinking of um, Norman Vincent Peale. So Norman Vincent Peale. And it's all about positive thinking. So to answer your question, I have decided at one point in my life to dwell into negative things, and it didn't help me. And when I went out of that and really went back to the mindset of being grateful and looking at things I can control, that I am alive right now and there are so many things that I can still do, it will change. It will change your perspective, because I tried. Because before I said, why do people really get so down and feel so sad? And when I tried it, if you do it and if you are so in love doing it, you would really be in that position in your life that you will be very sad. So the mindset, we have to take care of what we think. We have to take care of how we look at things. And I want to thank my sister because she has been one of the spiritual gurus. There was this story that he shared, and he said there was this monk, and then asked another the teacher and asked, what, I don't really get it. I've been in I've been in, what do you call those, where the monks go? So whatever that place is. So let's say it, for example, temple
Temple?
for 10 years,
Tem-
and I still don't get that um temple peace. And the guru said, I have an assignment for you. Every time someone asks you about something, your answer would be, I am grateful, I don't have any complaint, thank you. So that's what he told the person. So let's say you ate food and there's something there you didn't like, and then someone asks you, say about the food, I am very grateful, thank you for feeding me, everything's okay. So these are not the exact words. But what lesson did I get from that? If you complain and complain, and he said, Eckhart Tolle said, if you start to complain and start to look at bad things, start to look at the negative things, it would be hard for you not to do it. It would be your attitude already. So you have to get out of that and go to that place of gratitude. Place where you are saying thank you. Place of saying everything is okay, everything is good, even if it's not perfect. We're not saying that we're going to lie, but he said if you see something that has to be has to be improved, you can say it as a matter of fact. You just say, I noticed this and that, but you don't say it because you are complaining. So that's what I saw. It's good that God has allowed me to be in a place in my life during the pandemic wherein I dwelled, is that this the correct word? So I stayed, I tried to look at my negative things and I have to be a good writer and write things like that. And then I realized, or if I positive light, things that um, I want. I mean, there's still things that I want to do and I want to achieve, and that is good. Because again, I think God is placing that in my heart so that I would have that motivation to get up in the morning and try to look for things, creative things, so that I could achieve the dreams that I have. I think there was this one question earlier about YouTube. Was there a question earlier that appeared in the screen? What made you
Yes.
decide to try YouTube? Okay. In 2020, when I tried, I wasn't really clear what I wanted to do. I just wanted to, okay, I would do YouTube. I would celebrate my 8 years as a financial advisor. And that's the problem with things that we want to do if you don't have a clear purpose of why you are doing it. But when I changed the purpose and I said I want to promote businesses, let's say in Pampanga, where I can promote their business and people can try their services and I don't get anything out of it, it's a good feeling. So that's one. And also because I heard this one YouTuber and asked, if you have a question on what subject or what content you're going to create, you ask yourself first, what are the questions that people ask me? I'm not the person who really go out. I don't know restaurants. I'm not so my husband and I were very happy. So many people would message me, where should I go? If I go to Pampanga, what hotel should I try? What restaurant should I try? So I said, if they are asking me those questions, then I better go around. And there are times that I would go out, but I don't, take videos. So that's one, is to promote the businesses of um, the people here in Pampanga, or maybe if I because I don't really go out to Pampanga so much. So if I see a good location or a coffee shop, I would promote. The second one is I want it to be an album of my life with my children. Because my children, my youngest is 6 and my eldest is 8. And again, what I said earlier, there's so many phones that have given up on me, and I wasn't really able to save the memories there. So I said I would do this for myself. Maybe other people will not watch it, but this is for me. This is for me and for my children. And because that purpose is there, that I would want to capture the memories, when I'm doing it, I am enjoying. And so the next one is what is third thing that people ask me about. So the first one is where to go. So I couldn't really use that as a content. The third one is about financial literacy. So by next week, actually, I have some contents already because some of my clients were saying, why not produce content wherein you are educating? So I said that would be good because if you put if you want to educate and you put it out there, it is available for everyone. If this person would want to watch it and you don't want to watch it, you do not have to watch. She has released so many materials about insurance and about VUL and so many materials. The what when did you start releasing your content?
Me?
20, yeah.
I don't, what? I
See, we
released on
don't even
Facebook.
remember.
No.
Yeah, Facebook. 2018 or 2017?
My
It's
content,
still
I think
very
2018.
practical. And even if it has been released 3 years ago, 2018. So I can educate. So again, now would the next motivation that I would have is I can educate people subscribe to Lee Alvarez de Guzman. There are also a lot of people who would message me at times would say, "What advice can you give me as a mother? I would like to be an effective mother, and I would also want to be good at what I'm doing at work." So I said, my advice is again, be present. If you are with your children, I am not perfect. There was a time in my life that I wasn't there. That was during my second child, Mateo. I was always doing work while he was there. I wasn't really able to enjoy the moment. And now I am changing it. I wasn't practicing it before, but for me now, I would say you do not pursue happiness. This came from Dan Dapani. He's a monk before. He said that you do not pursue happiness. You create a life that would give you happiness. And Eckhart Tolle, Wayne Dyer, Dan Dapani, the people that I listening to, the same message. Be present. And at the end of the day, I have to be present because this is my life. This is, let's say, if I'm with my sister, I have to enjoy the time with my sister. If my son said, because we're about to transfer to a new house, and he said, "Mom, can I have my own room and their own video?" And I said, "You know what, Miguel? When you grow up, you would miss the times when you were with your brother. So this is the perfect time to share a bedroom with him." And he said, "Mom, you are right." Because again, you cannot go back. And then there was this one time someone told me in Tagalog, and people would say this in Tagalog, and there's so many people who would believe that wag mo kasing sinasanay yan, wag mo sinasanay yung kinakarga-karga yung bata. Kaya nasasanay kaya ka laging hinahanap. But the truth is, it's just going to be a very fast phase in your mother hand, because now Miguel is so heavy I couldn't even lift him. So I would, again, my final message is, in this world wherein everything is fast paced, be present. Be present to the lives of the people who are important to you. Be present to the things that you are interested in. If it's a book, it's a Netflix movie, be present and enjoy the moment. Because those are the things when when you look back. And me, I would look at my children and say, I would still remember how they smelled, how, that conversation that we had when I was really pregnant. So there would be so many challenges. And again, it's all about perspective. When you are experiencing a challenging situation, you just ask yourself, do I complain, or should I be grateful that I am being faced with this challenge? Because even if it's a challenging situation, there's still so many things to be grateful for. During the time that I had Bell's palsy, I felt the love of the people around me. I felt the love of God. I felt that I was very blessed, even if that happened to me. And because I created a blog about Bell's palsy, there were times that I had received messages from people who were experiencing the same. Because when you are in that situation, you want to look for people who were in that situation before so that they could help you. Miss Lee, what did you do? What should I do? I have Bell's palsy right now. I don't even know them. So there, be present in your life. Decide that this life is a good life. If you keep on looking for things that are not there and complain, like what Eckhart Tolle said, it is very addicting. When you start to complain, you will complain about everything. But if you change it with gratitude, if you change it with the statement that I am thankful, that there's nothing that, I have everything that I need, thank you for this, everything will change.
Wow.
Again,
Um,
I hope I was very to the community.
Thank you. Wow. Um, first thing, I just want to say I've been holding this in
Thank you,
my
Sir
mind.
Matt.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for being here and sharing all these insights, which I'll be summarizing in a bit right now. Where you face challenges, yes. Now, from all this, from what I've understood, is that yes, you had to face two things: the dire, dismal view of having a problem, or having the other side is the good side is having something to work on. You have a problem, but you also have something to work on, which you're hopeful for getting better too. So you pursue that. And what that means for me is that, you don't just stay around and lay around waiting for God knows what to happen. I don't know, because I don't really stay around and do the same thing. I don't sit and wait. I find a good reason to do something, which you did. And with that being said, I like to attach Miss Tati there, because she's a woman like that too. I haven't seen Miss Tati not do the right thing whenever I feel and share the right thing being seen too. So that's an amazing sight to see in you too, Miss Lee Alvarez de Guzman, that you don't wait when you see a good opportunity to do something that could fix a problem or improve be at more advantageous or improve a situation. You go for it. You take it on, and that's a good sign that you have you have substance to work with. Now you get feedback, you get results. That's an attitude of a person who gets results. Because I don't know where and why we as certain people, or people in general like that, act and some do not act. I don't know where it all starts and begins to fade and separate and fade. I don't know where, but I'm sure, as hell, that thing that gives you the urges to do something, to act it out, that encourages you to, hey, Faith and Hope, I'm it's me, Faith and Hope, and I'm trying to tell you that if you work on this, things might be brighter. And it did get brighter, that's for sure, in your story. And what also got brighter, what light also touched in you and about you, is that you had a story to tell on how to get there. And you want to record every moment of it using YouTube as a space that you wanted it to capture all the best moments that are filled with that kind of light. You're doing it for you, which sounds really great, because that's, I think, how it gets done in the right way. If you're doing it for you and in the sense of something good and meaningful and purposeful. And I think your children, I saw your children benefiting from that understanding. Yes, they're young, that's for sure. But understanding their mother like that, as time went on and goes on, seeing your content out there, I think they'll really love. I think they will really love what they're gonna see from their mother, their mom, about how she um, maneuvered in the world with an attitude of gratitude. Well, that's very present in your family, Miss Lee Alvarez de Guzman. Miss Tati, I see that in her all the every day, like whenever we interact in work that we share. And I think that's the best kind of meaningful human work we can do, and work on ourselves, and find inner peace, find the right way of working on things. And I think that's the right attitude in winning. So yeah, thank you so much. I am really high on life about that with that one. Thank you so much, Miss Lee Alvarez de Guzman. Miss Tati Castro, thank you so much again for being here, guys. With that being said, I think we're going to be closing now in a bit. Any last words, any more thoughts? I really am appreciative if there's anything more. To be honest, I really am. I'm hungry for more of these information that you're sharing, and it's really nice to start getting to know you more about these things and in these spaces. So yeah, please go ahead.
I would like to say thank you to my sister, because now that you have a glimpse of who she is, that's the reason why my husband Gerald Castro wanted to invite her here, because she's really a blessing in our family. her having a hot attitude of gratitude is also contagious, and she's the type of person that would find ways to lighten up the room, to brighten up a space, and to make things happen. So that's how she is. I'm the type that reflects. She's the type that acts fast. So her strength is really her action. That's why when she ends her live, she says, choose wisely, because in that statement of choosing wisely lies an action and a decision to do something about it. Thank you, Drell, for being here. And we call
Wow,
her
yeah.
Drell. We call her Drell because her name is Andrely.
Well,
So in the house, she is
Yes.
Drell. Officially, she's Lee. The whole
okay.
the whole name is Andrew Lee.
Okay. Jarell, okay. Thank you for sharing that, Miss Tati. I
Yes.
think that
Yes.
the public would love to know that too. And I think if the people here watching, suffer or feel any way that these problems have occurred in their life, I think Miss Drill, I'm getting to use the nickname now, but Miss Lee Alvarez de Guzman, has that spark of understanding where it all changes, where it can occur to change. But let's go back in detail again. You have to do something about it. If you see a pathway that leads to something more better and meaningful with what you're going through, then I think that's the right sign that you should be getting to move on about it. I think that's definitely what I got from Miss Lee Alvarez de Guzman, that possibilities are always endless in the face of challenges too. So be an action taker, be a doer, and take up something that, like Miss Lee Alvarez de Guzman said earlier in the beginning of the part of this session, is that you don't have to fully formed idea in mind of how to go about it, but going through it will prove that results will speak for itself, and what happens next is what you begun, and the results will give you something to work on. So yeah, that is the birthplace of anything that you can be super grateful for in the long term, working on it. So yeah, thank you so much again.
And
Wow.
Matt, it's a good
Yes,
thing
please
that you always say
go
her full name. It's a good thing you
ahead.
always say Lee Alvarez de Guzman, because that is her YouTube channel. Lee
Thank you.
Alvarez de Guzman.
I'm actually gonna say that for people
Yes.
watching, go
Thank
look
you
her
for
up.
that, Sir Matt.
No problem. I really love saying that, which what I said about your work and how you deal with your work and how you look at your work. Similar thoughts I see with Miss Tatis Castro's work. It always has that residue of all those things discussed here tonight, and I think that puts a smile on my face, because I think work done like that is meaningful work, and I think I'll we leave good marks in people when they try to pursue the same thing, and I think they get the job done too when they find that mark. So yeah, thank you so much again. Wow, I'm really happy to hear all these things. Miss Tati, enough knowing her for a long time now, has been providing that kind of value to other people, and to know that her sister too is like that, and more in her ways too. Wow, like it's an amazing sight in the mind. Wow, thank you so much. um, I guess with that being said, if there's anything, no more anything else, I'd like to close it off. So no, and we're good.
Andrew Lee, any final words?
Yeah, final words is always choose wisely.
Mm,
Thank you, Sir Matt and Ate Tatiana and Kuya Gerald and the Prime community for having me tonight. God bless
well,
everyone.
thank you for being here, Miss Lee Alvarez Guzman and Miss Tati Castro. Again, everybody, thank you. Who's everybody who's watching. Thank you so much for staying with us and watching, listening, and learning with us here. Three from Miss Lee Alvarez Guzman and Miss Tati Castro and me. Thank you so much. We'll catch you in the next one. We do the talks every Wednesday, and we do these things in Saturdays. So yes, thank you everybody so much for watching. With that being said, again, bye and good night. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.